When LeBron was in Miami, who did he have? One of the best shooters ever in Ray Allen. Then you have to look at what my boy Shane Battier did, or Mike Miller, I think 8 threes in a row. He's always had shooters around him because he was a facilitator. When he doesn't have shooters around, how can you be the best you can be? He's having a great season. It's not about him, but I do think it's about the talent that you have around him. And I think that if you win one championship in 4 years, that's the story. So this year really doesn't matter in the narrative to me, but to fans, I understand, because if it were me,
I've religiously looked at KD in recent memory. I'm like, he's the best in the world. He's the best in the world. Where I go back and forth between him and LeBron is for precisely the reason you just outlined.
The second Chris Webber said it, the LeBron James debate took a brutal turn. You never won without calling a star first. 6 words. Massive implications. Webber wasn't screaming for attention or throwing random shade. He was pointing at a part of LeBron's career that fans may not want to confront. And suddenly, the conversation shifted from "How great is LeBron?" to a much more uncomfortable question: did he need stars to build every championship run? And this wasn't just another hot take. It came from a Hall of Famer who understands NBA pressure, locker rooms, team building, and what it really takes to win it all. Whether Webber is exposing a legitimate flaw or reaching too far, his argument just opened a dangerous new chapter in the LeBron debate.
A lot of ex-players think Kobe was better than LeBron. I disagree with them, but a lot of them think they don't say the rings, they say the killer instinct.
But here's where Chris Webber's argument gets dangerous. This isn't necessarily about disrespecting LeBron. It's about how we define greatness. For years, the GOAT debate has been reduced to rings, stats, awards, and highlights. Webber pushes the conversation deeper, toward roster moves, decisions, and what happens away from the court. Because once you examine that side, the question changes. It's not just what LeBron accomplished. It's how those championship situations were built. Look at Miami. LeBron joined forces with Dwyane Wade and Chris Bosh, instantly creating one of the NBA's most stacked star trios. Then the Heat added veteran firepower, including Ray Allen, one of basketball's greatest shooters. The result? Star power, shooting, experience, and players built for pressure. And nobody can forget Game 6 of the 2013 NBA Finals, when Ray Allen drilled that legendary three-pointer and kept Miami alive. That shot became NBA history. But it also reinforces Webber's bigger point: championships don't just happen. Behind the banners are roster decisions, star teammates, and calculated moves. And if you're judging greatness, maybe those details matter far more than fans want to admit.
There's been tens of thousands of players in the NBA throughout history. I have one man above LeBron James, and that's Michael Jordan.
And this is where Webber's argument gets spicy. If LeBron James had meaningful influence over his teammates and situations throughout his career, should that factor into how we judge his championships? That doesn't erase his rings. It adds context. And that's exactly why comparisons with Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant get messy. Jordan stayed in Chicago as the Bulls gradually became a championship machine around him. Kobe spent his championship years within the Lakers organization, with management making major moves to keep the roster competitive. Their paths weren't identical to LeBron's. So pretending every superstar took the same route tells only half the story. But there's another side. LeBron never broke NBA rules by choosing his teams in free agency. He had every right to control his career, and became one of the biggest faces of the player empowerment era. Instead of waiting for organizations to dictate his future, LeBron used the leverage he earned as a superstar. Call it influence, strategy, career control. Whatever you call it, LeBron changed how NBA stars approached free agency. And that's where Webber's argument gets even deeper. When a superstar has that much power, he's no longer just responsible for what happens between the lines. He can influence the entire environment around him, player, strategist, and legacy architect all at once.
Great father, great husband, great businessman, philanthropy. I mean, he's phenomenal. Why is that necessary? Because you got people in his camp walking around. He's number 2 all time. Oh my God, shoot him. That's such a terrible, what an insult. Oh my God, I have you number 2.
And maybe that's exactly why LeBron James is so difficult to compare across eras. How do you judge a player who dominated on the court while becoming one of the NBA's most powerful figures off it? Different eras gave superstars different levels of freedom and leverage, so the GOAT debate isn't always apples to apples. Then you look at LeBron's resume, and it's ridiculous. 4 championships. 4 finals MVPs. The NBA's all-time scoring record. Elite production across more than 2 decades. Whatever you think of Chris Webber's argument, those accomplishments aren't going anywhere. And his longevity? Absurd. You can debate LeBron's teammates, coaches, and roster situations all day. But you can't fake elite production for more than 2 decades. At some point, it's not about an easy ride. It's talent, discipline, durability, and greatness.
I would challenge that.
You would challenge that?
Yes. Let me tell you why I would challenge it. I agree with you if you're taking LeBron from the time that he won against OKC and he won his first title.
But this is where the GOAT debate gets twisted. Greatness isn't just stacking trophies, records, and highlights until one resume looks bigger. If it were that simple, the debate would have ended years ago. It hasn't, because fans and former players judge the journey too. The setbacks, the competition, the circumstances, and how much control a superstar had over his situation. That's exactly where Chris Webber's perspective gets interesting. Webber never won a championship, despite coming painfully close with the Sacramento Kings. He knows firsthand how fragile a title run can be: teammates, coaching, management, injuries, matchups, and countless factors a superstar can't fully control. So when Webber looks at LeBron James having major influence over his career choices and basketball environments, he may naturally view greatness through a different lens. That doesn't automatically mean jealousy or bitterness. It could simply be the perspective of someone who experienced just how brutally difficult a championship window can be.
LeBron to me is the hardest when you have he's a small forward, but he had a point guard mindset with like a scoring mentality. Out of the 3 of them, how about this one? Out of the 3 of them, he's the worst scorer coming into the league out of the 3.
Because when you're chasing a championship, everything has to align at exactly the right moment. And LeBron James' influence still echoes across today's NBA. Superstar movement became a massive part of basketball culture during his era. Kevin Durant's career decisions triggered their own firestorms, while more stars began using free agency, trades, and player leverage to find situations built around their championship goals. LeBron didn't invent superstar movement, but his decisions became defining moments of the player empowerment era. Even many of his critics acknowledge just how massive his influence was. And now, younger stars are watching that new reality unfold. Luka Doncic and Jason Tatum have faced career-defining decisions in a league where staying with one franchise forever is no longer automatically viewed as the only respectable path. Build patiently with what you have, or use your leverage when the window opens. That decision can shape an entire legacy.
The Lakers are the biggest disappointment of the 2022 season. But LeBron James, he says he's having the time of his life.
And that's the ripple effect behind Chris Webber's argument. This isn't just about what happened years ago. It's about how future superstars think about championships, loyalty, roster construction, and career control. That's why the GOAT debate keeps exploding. It's no longer just LeBron James versus Michael Jordan. It's old school versus new school. Organizational control versus player empowerment. Staying loyal versus moving when the situation isn't working. And there are legitimate arguments on both sides. Every legend needed help. Michael Jordan had Scottie Pippen. Kobe Bryant had Shaquille O'Neal for his first 3 championships, then won again with another elite Lakers roster. Tim Duncan had Tony Parker and Manu Ginobili. Basketball has never been a one-man operation. But Webber's argument isn't necessarily about whether LeBron had help. It's about how that help was assembled. Was the supporting cast built organically by an organization over time? Or did the superstar have unusual influence over where he played and who surrounded him? That's where the debate gets messy. Because there's truth on both sides. LeBron's greatness doesn't disappear because he used his leverage. But his path was different from several legends he's constantly compared against. Depending on what you value, that difference can either strengthen his legacy or complicate his GOAT case. And then the media machine pours gasoline on everything. Sports shows, podcasts, analysts, social media. One provocative take can explode into millions of views, endless arguments, and days of reactions. Webber's comments hit so hard because the GOAT debate was never truly settled. So where does that leave us? Right where NBA debates always end up: passion, disagreement, and absolutely no shortage of arguments. If there were one obvious answer, we wouldn't still be debating LeBron, Jordan, championships, teammates, and legacy year after year. Greatness has no universal formula. It depends on the era, the competition, the journey, and what you value most. So here's the real question. What matters more? A superstar dominating inside a system largely built by the organization? Or a superstar using his power and leverage to create the best possible path to winning? LeBron became one of the clearest symbols of player empowerment. Jordan's championship story was built through a different path in Chicago. Both reached incredible heights. They just didn't get there the same way. Chris Webber didn't end the GOAT debate. He didn't erase LeBron's legacy either. What he did was force fans to look beyond rings and numbers and ask a much tougher question. How were those championship teams actually built? And once you judge the journey alongside the destination, this debate gets a whole lot more complicated. Now it's your turn. Was Webber making a legitimate point, or just stirring up basketball's biggest debate? Does LeBron's influence over his career and team situations make his legacy even more impressive, or does it complicate his GOAT case? Drop your take in the comments. Pick a side, and defend it. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, smash that like button, subscribe to Hoop Dose, and turn on notifications for more NBA debates, controversies, and stories that hit different. Send this video to the one person who never backs down from a GOAT debate. I'm Hoop Dose, and I'll see you in the next one.